Hi, hello, dear students. Welcome to my thermochemistry lecture number 7. Thermochemistry lecture number 7. Actually, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about the concept of calorimetry. Concept of calorimetry. This is the concept in the present class we are going to discuss. Actually, in the study of thermochemistry, there are some heat changes, as you all know, that accompany some physical and chemical processes, actually measured with a device called as calorimeter. The device name is nothing but calorimeter. Okay. Actually, it is nothing but a closed container, it is like a cup only, designed specially for this purpose only. For this purpose of calorimetry. Actually, we will begin our discussion of calorimetry, that is nothing but a measurement of heat changes, by defining two important terms. Calorimetry is measurement of heat changes. Measurement of heat changes. In that, there are two important terms are there. Now, one we will call it as a specific heat. The other one we will call it as a heat capacity. Other one we will call it as heat capacity. So first we have to learn about these two things in the calorimetry. Okay. So the device is calorimeter. Let us start with the specific heat. Let us start with the specific heat. Actually, it is nothing but an amount of heat is required. That is nothing but the specific heat. Amount of heat is required to rise the temperature of 1 gram of a substance. Of 1 gram of a substance. That is called as heat, specific heat. Once again I will repeat, specific heat is amount of heat required to rise the temperature of 1 gram of substance by 1 degree Celsius. How many degrees? 1 degree Celsius. That is called as specific heat. Here, any substance, if you take 1 gram, and that substance temperature, if you rise to 1 degree Celsius by giving heat to that substance, that heat we will call it as specific heat, right? That is one thing. Actually, this symbol is S is a symbol we are going to use here in this discussion. And moreover, the other one here is heat capacity. We have to talk about heat capacity in this junction. Second one is heat capacity. In this we will use the symbol capital C. I will use the symbol capital C for this one. Okay. So this is also a kind of heat required, amount of heat only required. Rising the temperature of an object by 1 degree Celsius. It is also the amount of heat required to rise the temperature of substance by 1 degree Celsius. Here there is no condition like what is the amount of what is the quantity of the substance. Earlier in the specific heat we have a condition that is what that should be 1 gram. In heat capacity conditions there is no such kind of thing is there. That means quantity of the substance is not mentioned here, but quantity of substance is mentioned in the specific heat. But definitions are almost same. Rising the temperature of a substance by 1 degree Celsius, how much amount of the heat is supplied to that one, that we will call it as the heat of the change. But here the point is very clear that specific heat requires condition based 1 gram of the substance to 1 degree, but here there is no such thing. This is an object we can take, right? We can use specific heat of the substance to determine heat capacity. Specific heat, if you know very well, if you have the calculation value of specific heat, it is easy to calculate the heat capacity is the meaning. Why? Because this is 1 gram and heat capacity calculations, if they have given some quantity of the substance, for that quantity how much heat is required in kilojoules, that we can easily calculate. Particularly we have a best example, that is the specific heat of water, which was given experimentally value, given a specific heat value of water, experimental value of water given as 4.184 joules. What is the meaning of this one is, here what is water's mass, that is grams, 1 gram per 1 gram of water, and we are rising that 1 degree Celsius. So here we can use the specific heat of water 4.184 joule per degree Kelvin. This is the value to determine the heat capacity of any mass of water. For example, if you want to calculate the heat capacity of 1 kilogram of water, so this can be used to determine 1 kilogram of water's heat capacity, right? So this can be used to determine 1 kilogram of water given. So we are going to calculate the heat capacity of 1 kilogram of water. Heat capacity of 1 kilogram of water is how much? In this juncture, what we will do is nothing but the specific heat given to us is in joule per gram degree Celsius is there, and this will be taken into the consideration, be multiplied with that the value given mass. So what is the mass of water given in this calculation is nothing but 1000 grams. 1 kilogram means 1000 grams. So you can take 1000 grams here into 4.184. This is specific heat. So what is the meaning of this one is, here we have taken the mass, here we have taken the specific heat, and specific heat units in joule per gram per degree is there. Gram degree is there. So gram will get cancelled, and our answer here will come in joule per degree will come. That is 4.184 joule per degree will come. So into 10 power 3 also 1000 is there. So I will write into 10 power 3 joule per degrees will write. As of we all know that specific heat has units joule per gram degree and heat capacity units as joule per degree. These are the two things we have to notice. And if you know the specific heat, what is the meaning of it? Amount of a substance, specific heat of amount of substance, then change the sample temperature, whatever this degrees is there, delta T, will tell us the amount of heat that has been absorbed or released in a particular process. Okay. Now, in this discussion, we have identified one thing that heat capacity is actually typically given for an object rather than a substance. That means object may be given quantity of a particular substance. Here in this discussion, object is different and substance is different. So what way it is different is nothing but object may be having a different kind of mass, but the substance when we are discussing here in the specific heat, that should be having 1 gram of particular mass to discuss this measurement of heat change. Now we are going to write a mathematical equation, that is nothing but one equation for calculating the heat associated with the temperature change, which is given to us is Q is equals to, heat change is Q is equals to, this is S, this is M, S into M into change in the temperature is delta T. Where what is this S here in this one is heat, specific heat, and M is the mass of the substance undergoing temperature change, and delta T is nothing but the temperature change, that is nothing but final temperature minus initial temperature. We have another such kind of equation is possible. Why? Because we have earlier we told this is the heat capacity, that means in place of S into M we can write C also, where what is this C here we have mentioned is heat capacity, and delta T, as you know, this temperature change. Okay, so that we can also write it as Q is equals to C into delta T. Did you got the point, right? So in this one the Q value, whatever we are going to discuss is heat change. This is nothing but heat change, measurement of heat change discussion, that is calorimetry. So the Q is nothing but heat change. Q is nothing but heat change. And in this one, the sign convention for Q is same as that of for enthalpy change. So enthalpy change, what the sign convention we will take, plus minus delta H values. Like that only the Q sign convention will be there. And what is the meaning of this one is, when you are saying Q is positive, when you are saying the value, when your value Q is positive value, then that process according to thermodynamics, delta H value how deciding, here also the same thing. That process is nothing but endothermic process. Okay. Likewise, if Q value is negative, then that process is exothermic process. Like the delta H value only, the changes, heat changes, we can write it. That means here what is the note here is nothing but the heat capacity C is equals to S into M. Actually this is specific heat into mass of the substance. That means specific heat is a property of a substance and heat capacity is a property of an object. So we can define specific heat of the substance as object and determine the heat capacity using its mass and its specific heat. Okay. So these are the two important mathematical expressions in studying calorimetric experiments. So there are different kinds of calorimetric values, specific heat values also listed out, and from that list of the specific heaters we'll come to know that element to element the specific heat value is different, as their mass values are different, molar masses are different, elemental masses are different. That means specific heat of the substance is useful to calculate the heat needed to rise the temperature of any substance by a particular amount. That is the meaning of this discussion. Now, we will say a small problem in this mathematical relation. After that, we will go to the experimental discussion, right? Now we are observing a problem on this discussion, that is calculate the amount of heat required to heat 255 grams of water from 25.2 degrees Celsius to 90.5 degrees Celsius. After seeing this one, what is the equation we will use is nothing but, we have discussed in the equation, the strategy is nothing but Q is equals to S into M into delta T. So this is the formula we will use to calculate the amount of heat required. So this is the amount of heat Q value. Before substituting the values in this, what is the particular values given to us in the problem, we will check it off. The mass of the object given to us is 255 grams water, that is, as you all know. And we already know that what is the specific heat of water. Specific heat of water is 4.184 joule per gram degrees. Okay, joule per gram degrees Celsius. And already given temperatures, this is the final, this is the initial. So we can write delta T is equals to T final minus T initial. Final we have 90.5 degrees Celsius is there, minus initial is 25.2 degrees Celsius. Why I have substituted these values means these values they are given in the problem. Initial and final temperature difference we have calculated, that is we got 65.3 degrees Celsius here. So these are the values, required values to substitute these values in this expression. So our aim equation is nothing but heat required Q is equals to S into M into delta T. So in this, the S value we will substitute is 4.184 joule per gram degree Celsius, and mass they are given is 255 grams into temperature change, that is 65.3 degrees Celsius. So these all units will get cancelled and we will get in joules only the answer. Upon simplification, you will get about 6.97. The value you will get is 6.97 into 10 to the power of 4 joules you will get. 4 joules you will get. And this you want to write it in a very small value in terms of kilojoules, then you will divide this expression with this value with 1000. Then after this will become 10. So 10 into 6.97, that is 69.7 kilojoules will come. It is the amount of heat required to heat 255 grams of water from 25.2 degrees Celsius to 90.5 degrees Celsius. Here, we should be very careful in this thing because the specific heat of the any substance is there. The substance value they have to provide. As we have already discussed about water, now there is no problem in putting this value for water, but in the examination, if you want to calculate the heat capacity, they have to provide the specific heat of a particular element also, then only it is possible. So they will definitely give to us. Okay, this is the wonderful problem which is interlinked with the important mathematical expression, that is Q is equals to S into M into delta T. Yeah, let us see the next one, that is constant pressure calorimetry. Constant pressure calorimetry. In this, what we will do is, a crude constant pressure calorimetry can be constructed. Construction we will see now from two styrofoam cups. These are two styrofoam cups are there, and styrofoam coffee cups, as shown like this in the picture. And this device we can also call it as a coffee cup calorimeter. Coffee cup calorimeter. And this can be used to measure the heat exchanged between this system and surroundings for a variety of the reactions, such as we have acid base reactions, neutralization reactions are there, heat of solution reactions are there, and also heat of dilution reactions are there, like this. So what is the reason is because the pressure is here in this discussion is constant. So the heat change of the process is equal to enthalpy change. So here pressure is constant means the heat change is equals to enthalpy change. As we have pressure is constant, that's the meaning of it. That means in such kind of experiments we can actually will consider the reactants and products in the reaction to be system, and the water whatever we will take in the calorimeter is considered to be a surroundings case. So in such case we will neglect the heat capacity of the styrofoam cups. Why? Because the interaction is between the reaction mixer and water, right? So that is one good thing here in this coffee cup calorimeter or water calorimeter. So we will definitely neglect the heat capacity of whatever styrofoam cups are there in our calculations. And in case for some exothermic reactions taken place, so heat released by this system is absorbed by water under calorimeter present in the calorimeter, and a specific heat of water and change in temperature, we can easily calculate the heat change at constant pressure. We can also call it as QP. Heat change at constant pressure is QP in such case. So what is that QP in our discussion is nothing but heat change of the system. Exothermic reaction case, it is there, minus, is gives minus value. As you know, convention is minus S into M into delta T. This is our expression. Earlier we had done a problem. Now we are assuming this is an exothermic process. For that process, this is the equation takes place in this styrofoam cups. Note that the minus sign, what is the minus sign? Which makes the heat change of the system a negative number if delta T is positive number. This is negative when delta T is positive. What is the meaning of this one is delta T is positive means final temperature is greater than initial temperature. Okay. So that is one important thing. Whereas a positive delta H value discussed, or a positive Q value suppose happened, the Q value is negative here, this is negative, when we have delta H value, when we have delta T value discussion. I have told it is delta T value, that is positive number. In the case of exothermic change. Whereas if you are taking the positive value here, positive value means plus Sm into delta T, right? So this is the expression you are writing. So here it is positive. That means in such case what will happens? Reaction is studied to be endothermic process. Whereas this is positive, delta H is positive, that process is endothermic. So there is no need to think about delta T now. That is absorbed means it is endothermic process. So temperature is reduced in that case, right? It shows, this picture shows that a constant pressure calorimetry definitely can be utilized to determine the delta H of the reaction. This Q's of the system is nothing but enthalpy change. So calorimetry is very much useful in determining enthalpy changes. So here we have a constant pressure calorimetry we have discussed that can also be used to determine the heat capacity of an object or specific heat of a substance. So see, if we have all the other things except this is S, we can find easily the S value means specific heat. If you don't know the S into M value means specific heat capacity, then you can also easily calculate that heat capacity using this Q and delta T values. Okay. For example, if you take a simple example like water, we have another example is that is lead pellet is there. Lead pellet, PV. So if you take a lead pellet is there. So if that pellet is having a mass of 26.47 grams is there, suppose. Okay. Actually, originally it is 89.98 degrees is there. Okay. What is the meaning of it? We have taken a lead pellet with a mass of 26.47 grams and temperature of 89.98 degrees Celsius is there. We dropped the pellet in a constant pressure calorimeter like this. Then what are the observations we can do here? Definitely what will happen? Definitely there will be a change. Definitely there will be a change in the temperature cases. So what we have done it? We have dropped that one in 100 grams of water. 100 grams of water, and that water is present at 22.5 degrees Celsius. Water is present at 22.5 degrees Celsius is there. So once the reaction starts, what happens? We will understand one thing, that there is a temperature rise of water is there. That is, they have identified the rise of the temperature from 22.5 degrees Celsius to 23.17 degrees Celsius for water. Right? In this case, we consider the lead pellet to be the system and water to be the surroundings. You know what is the lead pellet here? That is system, and what is water? Water is surroundings. So temperature of the water is increased because there is a chemical reactions happen. When the chemical reaction happen, temperature rise means definitely that amount of heat that is released from system to the surroundings. So what happens? That is Q system in this case will become equals to minus Q surroundings in this case. Okay, we can rewrite that equations. After that, we will use this equation S into M into delta T. In that, we will substitute the values. Water value we know, specific heat of water 4.184 we will write, and mass of water given the problem is 100 degrees Celsius. Difference is nothing but 23.17 to 23.17 minus 22.5, that is the delta T value will be there. So that amount how much will come, that we will find as Q of water. So what is Q of water? Q of water is nothing but S value of water is 4.184 and mass is 100 grams, and change in the temperature. Change in the temperature is 22.17 minus this 22.5 degrees Celsius. So this we will write as 23.17 minus 22.5 degrees Celsius. So upon simplification, got value 280 joules approximately for water. Similarly, if you want to find the lead pellet, yes, no need to find. Why? Because we are given very clearly system is nothing but lead pellet. So what is the Q value for lead pellet is opposite sign of this. This is minus 280 joules. That means the negative sign indicates that heat is released by the pellet, that is system, into the surroundings. So automatically what will happen? When you are when you want to find the heat capacity of this one pellet, then this is heat capacity. So pellet heat capacity will become equals to Q of the pellet by change of the temperature, change in the temperature. That is what is the Q of the pellet by change in the temperature. So Q of the pellet is minus 280 came already, we have minus 280. Change in the temperature means pellet temperature already given is 89.98 degrees Celsius is there, and we have temperature is 23.17 is there. So this difference if you write that is 23.17 minus 89.98 degrees Celsius, this is the delta T value. So upon simplification, you got you will get 4.19 joule per degree. This is the value of heat capacity of the pellet. Further, what we can also calculate the specific heat of the lead pellet also. That is very simple. As we know, Q is equals to C is equals to S into M. You want S of the pellet, that will be C by M. And already we have calculated this C value for the pellet, that is 4.19, and the mass of the pellet in the problem they are given is 26.47. So we will substitute 4.19, 26.47 grams. So then this division is specific heat, we will get that is 0.16. This is 4.17 is a joule per degree. This is in grams. So the answer will be joule per gram degree Celsius. 0.16 will come. So this problem is attached with this experiment only. Okay. So now we have understand that at constant pressure, whatever we will find the heat change, that is nothing but enthalpy change only. So it is very convenient method, and this method is called as calorimetry of constant pressure calorimetry using this type of device. Okay. Okay, fine. We will see problem on this one to conclude this session. That is a metal pellet with a mass of 100 grams, originally at 88.4 degrees Celsius. What is this 100 grams is nothing but mass of pellet. 100 grams is mass of pellet. We will take down this value first, right? And the temperature of the pellet is there. The temperature of the pellet is 88.4 degrees Celsius. Let it be there. And dropped in 125 grams of water. Now, what is the mass of water we will take down? Is 125 grams. Originally, the temperature of this one is 25.1 degrees Celsius. Original temperature is 25.1 degrees Celsius. Okay, this is water temperature. And the final temperature of the both pellet and water is given as 31.3 degrees Celsius. What is the meaning of this? Is a change in the temperature of water. Change in the temperature of water will become final minus initial. Final is 31.3 degrees Celsius. Initial is 25.1 degrees Celsius. So this difference is there. The difference definitely will come 6.2 degrees Celsius. Similarly, you can find the change in the temperature of the pellet as they have already given. Final temperature of the pellet is 31.3. Water and pellet both are same values. So final temperature is 31.3 degrees Celsius. Initial temperature is 88.4 degrees Celsius. So here we will get a negative value of minus 57.1 degrees Celsius for pellet temperature changes. What is the meaning of this one is pellet has released the temperature to the water. So water is surroundings, pellet is system. So from this, it is very clear that we can easily calculate the value of Q value of water. Q value of water, and definitely that will become equals to minus Q value of pellet. So we have two mathematical expressions are there that we will see. That is Q of water. How to find Q of water is nothing but heat change of water is specific heat of water. We have a standard value is there, that we will write as 4.184 value is there, and mass of water given in the problem is 125 grams is there, into change in the temperature of water we have 6.2 degrees Celsius. So this is the product value. That product value you will get around 3242.6 joules, 3242.6 joules you will get the value. So what is the meaning of this one is from this relation Q value of the pellet, Q value of the pellet will be in opposite sign. Therefore, what is the Q value of pellet? That is minus Q value of water, that is minus 3242.6 joules. Okay, this is the Q value of the pellet. Now, calculate the heat capacity of the pellet. As you know, the relation between heat capacity and the Q value, what is the formula we have? Q is equals to C into delta T. So if you use this formula, C will become equals to, what is C? C will become equals to Q by delta T. So what is the C of pellet? C of pellet is nothing but Q of pellet by delta T of pellet. Q of pellet already we have calculated, that is minus 3242.6 joules is there, and that of delta T of pellet we have minus 57.1 degrees Celsius is there. So this division we will get positive sign for the heat capacity of the pellet, exactly 57 joules per degree will come. So this is the problem, heat capacity of the pellet using the constant pressure calorimetry. Okay. I hope you understand this problem. We will see the next calorimetry concept of constant volume calorimetry in the next session. Until have a nice day. Thank you very much.